This is a track that came out of nowhere. It's a generational defining song in Japan. Ado's Usseewa has stormed into our ears and left an incredible mark. In just the first second of the song, two strong notes were delivered, followed by Ado's mystique-like vocals already tie us to our seat and commands us to pay attention. This is the start of an artist that is going to dominate the YouTube world in the Japanese music category. And this song has pretty much made Ado an artist on the rise. But how did all of this happen? How did we get to Usseewa? This is the story of Ado. Ado is a Japanese-Australian singer.
Wait, what? For real? Is this for real?
It says here on Wikipedia that she is a Japanese-Australian singer. Now, usually we don't really trust Wikipedia fully, but there may be some truth to this. According to Wikipedia, Ado was born into a Nikkei family originally from Australia on October 24, 2002 in Tokyo, Japan. And a Nikkei family means an immigrant from a country who resides in another country. Or in this case, it would be one of her parents being Australian but already residing in Japan. Well, we don't know what's the race of a parent that came from Australia, but we do know that they make sweet love. That gave us Ado 18 years later. According to an interview Ado did with Japan Times, Ado was around 5th or 6th grade when she was introduced to singing synthesizer software called Vocaloid by her cousin. Thank you, Ado's cousin. And thank you, Volca, for providing the track Woe and Dancehall. Because those songs made of Vocaloid software and by the producers were a mix of sounds that she has never heard before and is very impressed with. The voices, the lyrics, the world of Vocaloid are some of the key things that Ado loves and center her utaite career around. Ado, growing up in a Nikkei family, has mentioned how as a child she was also exposed to Western music. This exposure primarily came in the form of the rock group Queen, which is a band that her father loves. Because if she was talking about her mom, she would most likely be singing Stay with me, I guess her dad's influences did play a part in Ado's life, because knowing what we know now, Ado's vocal style and the types of music she covers have very strong rock influences. But besides this side of Ado, she is also in love with Disney soundtracks when she was at that stage of her life. Particularly the song Cinderella, and we could imagine that being exposed to vastly different styles of music such as Vocaloid, classic Western music, and the lovable Disney tunes is what eventually shaped Ado's versatile vocal techniques. Because we would hear how Ado would blend many different types of vocal stylistics to deliver different lines within a song. Just in Usseewa alone, notice how Ado projects a softer chest voice during the verses, and then switching things up by using her throat to give a harsh stamp to kick in the song's pre-chorus. And do we need to mention the growls that she uses when she sings I'm healthier than you think? But what we do need to mention is, hey guys, if you like this video about Ado, then do subscribe to this channel and like this video, because moving onwards, ABA Japan plans to do more documentary videos about Japanese artists. Also, there is a better version of this documentary where I put Ado's music as a backing track to support this video, and let me tell you, it hits different. So if you'd like to watch a more impactful version, then go to patreon.com/ABA Japan and enjoy the rest of the video there. Back to Ado. In 2014, or when she was 12, she grew her interest in music a little bit further. It was a time when Nico Nico, a video sharing website popular with Vocaloid music, would release its software on Nintendo 3DS that would allow her to watch cover singers on the small little screen of the device. These Nico Nico utaites who sang without showing their faces impressed our little young Ado enough. So much so that she eventually became one. That's why on January 10, 2017, Ado came out as an utaite for the first time in her life and posted a cover of Kuwagata P's Kimi no Taion on the Nico Nico website. It's also a song that we'll be reacting to as part of this little week about Ado. Her cover of Kimi no Taion would eventually be republished on YouTube on January 10, 2021, making it a 4-year anniversary since she started this path. Now that is a very interesting note to see how far since she has come. After Kimi no Taion, Ado would continue her path as an utaite by releasing other cover songs that display her raw and heartfelt vocal abilities. She covered songs from well-known Vocaloid producers such as Pseudo's Jama and Baka, and Ayase's Last Resort. But my personal favorite of her covers during this time would be Hiragi Kirai's Boca de la Verita. Her expressive vocals hit immediately after the song begins, And that is the command that Ado has. She directs the listeners to think about the vocalist first before thinking about the song.
It's like when you're eating a delicious burger with quality ingredients, but the first thought that came to your mind is, who is the cook that made this? I gotta find out.
When the verse of the song hits, she sings the same line with a lower octave than the one at the start of the song.
And it shows. It shows what she can do. In my reaction to this song, I mentioned how Ado definitely did this song justice. And it wouldn't be surprising that she is able to get into the meaning of the song, as she has mentioned that she is in love with Vocaloid so much that she cries with it every day.
Her solo covers led her to be featured in Kujira's digital single Kinmokusei in 2019. This also happens to be the very first time that I was exposed to Ado in my channel.
And thinking back to the time of my first impression of Ado, she definitely carries a certain aura to her. With the way the artwork is being drawn and the voice representing it, it feels like Ado was a singer ready to explode onto the scene.
Because at that time, Ado was living off as a mysterious utaite who is only 17 years old, but yet her potential is so well known. Few months after Kinmokusei, she would then be featured as a vocalist in John Yakitori's digital single titled Shikabaneze. This single was released on March 29, 2020 on YouTube. March 29, 2020.
See, the thing is, when we talk about utaites and how they come about, it would always be associated with Nico Nico. But the thing here is that when we talk about Nico Nico, we think of at least 8 to 10 years back, like really a long time ago. But this John Yakitori with Ado song is only last year. Last year, guys. You see how things just suddenly shifted? You could say that Ado was one of the latest batches of utaites who had very short few years on Nico Nico before being catapulted onto YouTube. And that catapultation for Ado is coming soon.
According to Ado herself, she remembers opening her Twitter one day after school and finding a direct message from someone in Universal Music.
Yes, that someone from Universal Music Japan slid into her DMs. And guess what? I guess the pickup line must have been killer, because she said yes to Universal Music Japan.
She signed with them and was paired once again with Studio. And have you heard Studio's music? He was the perfect producer to give Ado an enormous start. Ladies and gentlemen, Usseewa is dropped. The song that just straight up personifies anger is matched perfectly with Ado's vocal ability. In just 5 seconds into the song, the world would be wondering, who on earth is this girl who is screaming so intensely? Ado's performance in the song is so powerful that it easily gets a reaction from everyone who listens to it. The lyrics of the verse are perfect storytelling that resonates with many young Japanese. It is also very much believable seeing that Ado herself is known to be only 18 at the time and is also, well, just like the listeners, an average high school student. Her age, identity matched the look of the girl in the video so well that some media personnel misunderstood her as the exact character in the song.
But what made this song a cultural phenomenon in Japan is the line in the chorus where it basically asks people to shut up. And I guess it's definitely going to be an eye-catcher in the polite country of Japan. You could tell that people who don't belong in the generation of music probably hate it. But music is always a growing thing, and for people of Ado's age, this is definitely their generational song.
Ado mentions in an interview that she reminisces on the time she had the kind of anger conveyed in Usseewa. And those times were when she was pressured by her own family and other people she knew of. But she also draws the anger she has towards herself. Those are the thoughts that she has when singing the song, and we certainly felt every inch of it. That's why the song is a huge success. At the time of this video, which is 11 months from when the song is published, Usseewa had reached 179 million views on YouTube. The song ranked number 1 on both Oricon Digital Singles Chart and Oricon Streaming Chart on February 3, 2021. On June 11, 2021, she was chosen as the second Japanese female artist for YouTube's Artists on the Rise. This song was so popular that it gave birth to Ado-inspired dishes such as Usseewa Black Curry, which is definitely odd. It's a collaboration that Ado had with dessert chain Sweets Paradise, and they offer quite a few meals that lend from the visuals of the song itself.
The only way that this collaboration would make sense that I can think of is I guess Ado must have been a real fan of the chain that she would let her likeness appear there. So we get it. This is a huge song, but besides the accolades that I just stated,
Cool thing to note is that Ado's Usseewa is only available digitally, which is a huge shift in the way music is consumed in Japan. Yes, I know we all think Japan is a modern country, but really, when you know how Japan works, there is a relentlessness in not changing how things are. And in music is the same, where they will cling to physical formats. But thanks to the meteoric rise of Kenji Yonezu and the beautifully haunting success of Yoasobi's Yoru ni Kakeru, Ado is one of the online artists that get to enjoy the path these artists pave, which is digitally exclusive. Because now you just practically finish it in a studio, music and artwork, and then you decide when would you like to upload it to commence distribution. This saves a lot of marketing time, and as well as going through all the dings and dongs and printing stuff, liaising with the distributors, waiting for the campaign to start. None of that. I guess this is the big reason why fans of Ado are pleasantly surprised of how fast Ado can release new tracks, which is also something that I would like to talk about in the future. So many great songs. But wrapping things up, personally I got to Usseewa is because I've been recommended to check out Kinmokusei featuring Ado. And when I heard that song, my first impression of Ado was that she sounded like she didn't come too long from a puberty stage and her voice is still finding stability. But what came next for me as a song recommendation from Ado was Usseewa. By then, I was somewhat familiar and ready to see what she got. It did not disappoint. And that's how I got to Usseewa. But what about you? How did you get to Usseewa? Let me know in the comment section down below on your story. Check out the Patreon version of this documentary and you'll also be able to support me, which I will put your name in the thank you supporters in every part of my video. I would like to work on more documentaries about Japanese artists that came to love in this channel, so recommend me other artists that you think I should get to. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time.